Hello everyone. I wanted to talk today about the Scavenger Hunt book challenge that I have going on. I started doing a scavenger hunt for myself, and in the middle of that decided that I wanted to give a couple Christmas gifts to two little girls. So I kind of went sidetracked and did a couple candy box journals to do a scavenger hunt in for these two little girls. They're going to open it at Christmas, so I don't know how well they went. What I did was I gave them a book and a list of categories for them to find, and the idea is to go and find items for their books. So this was a sample book that I had started. It was also a candy box, and I used junk mail and magazine pictures and envelopes and things in mine. This was just supposed to be a sample. I didn't expect to take so much time working in this, and I am ready to put this away. I did add a few things. For the girls, I added a lot of categories. Dogs was one of them, so I decided to fill some of my empty pages with some of the categories that I'd given them, just because I had some of these. So there's the dogs that I added. There's some vegetables, fruit. So I added a little bit. I actually pasted in the crown rubbings, and I did take out the card that had the fibers in it and just put the fibers on paper clips. It took away some of the bulk. But anyway, I am pretty much done working in this book. This is not the book that I intended to work on. This is not what I had in mind for my own challenges. This is the little box that I had thrown in there. When I found a picture to put in the book, I'd put in the tray, and then when I had time, I'd put the pictures in the book. But I am not going to be working on that anymore. That's not what I had in mind. So I, for myself, have decided that I am doing two scavenger hunts. One of them is an ABC scavenger hunt, and for that one I am using a book, a regular book that I've torn some pages out of and have left myself 26 pages, and I have glued each letter of the alphabet on the top. So this will be P's. My plans are to find a large picture to put on, and then to put smaller pictures for that letter around it. So I have not glued anything in any of the books yet. I am still collecting. I'm in the collecting stage, and I will explain more of that as we go. So the other book that I am working on is a larger book that I am giving myself categories for, and I will be gluing things in. So as an example, this one, these pages they're just tied in, so I can change my mind. I think this might be too big for what I'm going for, and I want to be able to take pages out. So I haven't glued anything in yet, and it's just kind of a working thing. So Eiffel Tower is one of my categories, and I've collected quite a few pictures for the Eiffel Tower. And what I will be doing is collecting my images first, and then arranging them on the page in some kind of fashion that kind of makes sense. I'm trying to collect different kinds of images, drawings and stamps, different sizes, old pictures and new pictures, and this one's a postcard kind of thing, and just whatever I can find. So I kind of want the images themselves to be a little different. I don't want them all to be the exact same image. I want them to be variations, and I'm going to, when I get my collection together, try to figure out how to put them all on the page, or the ones that I like, the best ones that fit, I'm going to try to figure out how to put on my page. So this is kind of what I'm going for. My ultimate goal is to have a glue book, basically, of images that I've collected and that I enjoy, so that I can go back and look at them. I enjoy going through my glue books and looking at the pictures. And in fact, I have started just a glue book, another one. And this is an example for the fish. This isn't my scavenger hunt book, this is just a glue book. But this is kind of what I'm going for ultimately with the pages. I want something that I can look at and enjoy. I want to be able to collect images that I really like and put them all together and go back and look at them and enjoy them. So this is a base of what I've started, and these are a few of the pictures that I would like to add. I'll add them, you know, eventually. I want to collect a little bit more before I really glue things down and commit myself to these pictures. And I do have to do some fussy cutting on some of them, and I want to arrange them in a pleasing manner to me, so that when I go back through and look at these, I'll be happy with the book and enjoy just looking at it. So this is a very long process. I would probably take a year or so to make. I am in the collecting stage, and like I said, I will end up fiddling about and trying to put each one exactly where I want it, and I'll have more by that time of where I want things, and that's where I'm going with this. I want as many different fish on the page as possible, and I want them to be nice to look at. So I've got a lot of work ahead of me, but this is ultimately what I want to do for myself. This is just my glue book. I plan on doing, my scavenger hunt book is a little bit smaller, so it wouldn't take as many of these images, and it wouldn't take as long. But I like fish, so I really like the way these all look together, so I decided to do a spread of fish in my glue book. So I am in the collecting stage, and I found some collecting the images was becoming a little hard, since I'm not gluing them down in my books right away. And the reason I'm not gluing them right away, I want to arrange pictures when I get a collection together. I want to put the larger pictures on the bottom and kind of work my way up to with smaller pictures around, and I want to be able to see the pictures that I collected. So I'm thinking at this point that I need to just collect what I'm going to collect, and then my next stage will be organizing them in the book. So in collecting them, I have made these envelopes and put them in this box. This one is my ABC scavenger hunt, and I have made a letter, an envelope for every letter. So when I come across something, I'll do A because I know there's lots of alligators in there. When I come across anything, I put them in the envelope. So then when I go to glue things in, I can see what I have, and I will pick one alligator and, you know, one apple, but I can pick the one that I like the best, basically. And I will put a large picture in, and then I'll put some smaller pictures around, and then I'll fill in the spaces with some of these words. So at this point I don't have very much really to fill a page, so I am still collecting stuff. So this is how I'm organizing my alphabets. And I have a lot of work ahead of me still, so collecting stage will probably take quite a while. But I'm collecting words as well as pictures. And I have got a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, I want to do a focal point on these pages. Let me do L. I love this lion. I really think I'm going to make him a focal point. He might be too large though, but I like him. So what I would do is I would put him down there, and then I would find my L's and see what else I've got here. Not much. So I've got some lipstick and a lamp and letters and words, and I would just go ahead and arrange them the way I want to arrange them. So there's two lions. I would take one of those away. Here's a die cut for a ladybug, a lime. So ultimately that's what I will have for the ABC book, is a bunch of words for each letter. And I'm hoping that that will turn out pretty fun. For my other book, I am doing categories. And again, I have got envelopes for those. So I made envelopes. I knew I was going to need a lot of envelopes. So I went ahead and took a magazine page and made my own template, I guess, for an envelope. And it ends up being a fairly good size. I mean, this is the size it is. It's big enough to hold, good sized pictures. I don't think I want anything larger than that anyway, so and the template works. I guess this is the top. Fold over this. This is the front, and then this is the bottom. And then I have a flap if I want to fold it down, but I haven't so far. And then what I do is I label each envelope with what's inside. This one's huge. This one's birds. I have got a ton of birds. Tons and tons and tons of birds. My categories, when I first did this challenge, I said that I was going to add categories a little bit at a time, but it's really hard to do. If you're looking for pictures, you kind of need to know what you're looking for ahead of time when you're in the collecting stage. So I'm going to talk a little bit about categories. Now if part of your challenge is to have somebody tell you what to look for, I can give you a list. Just write me a comment and say, give me a list of how many you want and how hard you want them. I can give you 25 or 50 different categories if that's how you want to do it. I would be happy to do that for you. But I'm thinking that a lot of people would like to do categories that they're interested in. So my suggestion is to come up with your categories and then to start looking for your categories and start collecting them. Mine right now, I am working on birds, and here's my other fish. I mean, the fish that I showed you isn't even all the fish that I have. These are more fish that I can use if I choose to, but they have their own little envelope for. Let's see, what else do I have? I have places. Now, for me, I want to do places that I would like to see. So I've come up with a few, and I haven't come up with very many yet. A few pictures of places. Easter Island is someplace I'd like to go. Rio de Janeiro, you know, that's the Colosseum. And so I will collect images of places, and I'll probably collect words as well, you know, the place names. And then I've got a lot of collecting to do there. I have eyes. I have, this one is all numbers, and I think it would be fun to do a whole page of numbers. Different kinds of numbers, spelled out numbers, different fonts, and, you know, I don't want to lose anything, so I'm having a hard time here. But this whole envelope is full of, you know, tickets and numbers and all kinds of things. So that's that one. I started collecting hats. I think I have like 5 in there. Houses is another one. I'm also collecting frogs. Some of my frogs are a little large, so I don't know if I'll be able to use them, but I love this guy. Isn't he cute? I just love him. And I like this guy too, but I think he might be too large. So, the frogs, and then here's my little baby frogs. Now some of them are regular frogs, and some of them are little cartoon frogs. Just whatever I can find. And like I said, at the end, I will go through and find out, you know, what I want to use and what I don't want to use. Some of these might not be exactly what I want. But at least I have the option of using it if it's here and collected. So, another thing that I am also doing is the colors. And I've been throwing colors in my color box. You can see anything with a color, and purple is really hard to find. Anything with color, I'm putting in here. I plan on doing red, blue, yellow, orange, green, and purple. And I'm also got white, but white is really hard to find. I have found this picture and a couple China pictures, but that's all I have found. So I don't know how well I'm going to do with white. The other thing I wanted to say before I go further, I had given myself some categories in the beginning. And one of those categories was cats. Here's my envelope for cats, and I put dogs in there too because I couldn't find any cats. I like cats. I have a couple cats. I would like to have a cat page, but I can't find any cat images. And the few that I have found I really don't like very much. So another reason for me not to be gluing my images in yet is because I might not be able to find anything that I like, and I might have to change my mind about some of them. That one I'm hoping that I'll find some more for it, but at this point I might have to scrap cats. That's awful. So another one that I am working on, faces is famous faces. And I'm thinking, you know, people I would have liked to have met, faces that are recognizable. I don't know if you can see any of these, but there's Santa, George Washington, there's Oprah, Mona Lisa, Marilyn, you know, just faces, famous faces, and I'm probably going to do a little collage with all these faces on it. I thought that would be fun. I have an envelope for food. This was mostly for the kids' book, and I don't think I'm going to use food. What else do I have in here? Stars. Stars. One of my categories for the kids was hearts. I'm not a big heart person, so I'm probably not going to do hearts, but I kind of like the way the star page was turning out, so I've started continuing to collect the stars, and I'll see how those turn out when I get more of those going. I also use these plastic baggies to do some of them, and I had started using these so I could see through them, but they sag a little bit. They don't really stand up, so I was having a hard time finding my, because they were bending is what was happening. The pictures inside were bending because they were slipping underneath. So I went to these envelopes. Whatever works for you, you know, I'm just giving suggestions. Here's my circles, and I didn't really like the way the circles looked when they were all together, so I don't know if I'm going to use circles. I guess that's one of those that we'll see. This one was doors and windows. This one was cartoon characters. This one is eggs. Now, eggs are hard to find. Maybe around Easter time they'll be much easier. So, and this one was transportation or things with wheels. And I have tons and tons and tons of stuff like that. I found a lot of that. And it might be too easy to put in my book, but collecting right now is what I'm doing. I'll think about it later. And I also have, to go with the transportation, I have things with wings, basically is what that is. And I've got a lot of things with wings. And also another one that I've got a lot of is the trees. Got a lot of trees. I kind of enjoyed the trees. We might do that one again. I've got a lot of them, so we will see. Here's my elephants. Found quite a few elephants. I'm hoping to find some more. And I'm looking for, you know, not just regular elephants, but I want cartoons and drawings and, you know, graphic elephants and, you know, fun elephants, things that are a little different. You know, I'm collecting, you know, here's one of those Zendoodle elephants. So I'm collecting everything. I want things that are a little different. I want things that are interesting on my page. So these are all empty. So I wanted to talk a little bit about themes or categories. Here's my flowers. So I have got some challenging, stars. I have got some challenging categories that I'm giving myself. The ones that I just told you, they're pretty easy. They're pretty self-explanatory. There's just some of the things that I am thinking of. But if you want to do a challenge for yourself, you might want to think about doing themes, not necessarily a category, but a theme, such as like music. Let's go to music. Now, music can be described in many, many different ways. For me, I found, of course, music, you know, music notes, page music, you know, things like that. Statues of musicians, people playing instruments, and dancing, more instruments. I'm trying to think outside the box a little bit. How can you show music, basically? So I have just collected what I can when it comes to music. Here's an old-fashioned record player. Here's the word music. This is a Broadway show or something, I think. So they're dancing in there. Here's some girls out at the club dancing. Any way that I could think of to show music. Here's some headphones. I am trying to challenge myself to think in different ways. One of your categories could be dance, different kinds of dance. Here's a ballet. Here's a little cartoon of a couple dancing. The Beatles drums. You could do just about anything. Think outside the box a little bit. So here's a picture of a record and a cassette tape. I thought that was hilarious. And in my travels, I also came across this, I don't know what it is, a banjo or something, but it's made out of a canned ham tin. I thought that was hilarious. I thought that would be really good in my collection. So themes like music work well as well. Time is another one. You think time, the first thing you think of is clocks and watches. I have found a timer, a sundial. I think I even have, here's a stopwatch. I think I even have an hourglass somewhere in there. Most of them are watches and stuff. But my concept of time, it would be fun to see a whole page full of watches and clocks, faces, but I've seen it done before. It wouldn't be anything new. I would enjoy looking at it. Here's my hourglass. But I'm thinking a different concept of time. What about today and fortnight, years, and any time? Words that are a time. Here's yesterday. So always, forever, twilight, noon. You could come up with all kinds of words that also include, time. So that's my challenge to myself, is to come up with different ways to show time. I might find Father Time somewhere, who knows. So challenging yourself, finding categories that speak to you, it makes it a little bit more fun. Hands, I thought maybe having hands all over a page would be a little creepy, but I kind of was playing with what I had, and I'm really liking the looks of all these hands. And I've come up with quite a few different kinds of hands, jazz hands, and all kinds of fun things. So I'm thinking hands might work for me. So there's my hands. Shoes also. I'm not a big shoe person, so I don't know if I would be collecting shoes, but I love that one. But I would love to see a page full of cool shoes, and I might do it just because it would probably be really cool. But shoes would be a really neat category. Paper dolls would be a great category. Money. So I'm thinking all kinds of currency. We got dollar bills, we got old coins, we got the word gold, different ways to come up with currency. I don't know if I really like the images yet until I collect more and see what I can come up with. I don't know if it's going to be a category or not. Like I said, I'm at the collecting stage. So here's my Alice in Wonderland. Now I do have Alice and a couple of her people, but my ultimate goal for Alice in Wonderland is to find like a white rabbit. I want a Queen of Hearts, probably a card. Here's a red rabbit. I didn't really like that one. Here's a Cheshire cat. Here's a Queen of Hearts stamp. a teapot, a bottle. There's more teapots. Just Alice in Wonderland theme. And I want to see how far I can push that theme without actually using Alice stuff. I want to try to push myself and use other things. So some of the categories I was thinking of for things to use, I talked about a lot of them. I wanted to use imaginary creatures, but I'm not finding any. I think I have found a unicorn, and that's about it. And I'm also thinking about adding black to my colors, but that probably will be very difficult. Another thing that I would like to do is add maybe tickets. This is a picture that I did. I had gathered together all my red tickets and I took a picture of them all together. But I might actually collect them all up again because I never did anything with them, and go ahead and glue them down and make it part of my scavenger hunt. Another idea would be stamps. Now I have stamps here that I had kind of planned on doing some photographs with, some colorful, pretty little stamps. But they would be fun to collage onto a page, and even parts of envelopes. I was collecting, when I was taking the stamps off the envelopes, I noticed how cool some of the old insides of envelopes were and some of the postmarks were. So I kind of started collecting those, and I thought those would be kind of cool as a category as well. Postmarks or envelope patterns or both. I mean, some of these are pretty neat, and I think they would be really cool looking together. So so I'm thinking about that. You know, for your category, you could also think about stamps that you get in the mail, and you know, that would be a good scavenger hunt thing, taking stamps off your junk mail and postage, postmarks off your junk mail, and collecting those. Let's see. Another one that I am thinking about is mustache. I know it sounds weird, but I've got this mustache thing going on. And I found scrapbook paper and some stickers, and I also found a Mona Lisa, and she's got a mustache. I don't know if you can actually see it, but somebody had put a mustache on her, and I thought that was hilarious. And I found these little, they're straws. I found them at Walmart. They're straws, and you're supposed to have a mustache when you're drinking out of the straw, but they're little mustache paper things that I thought would be cool just to put together. Another category I think would be kind of cool would be glasses. I thought that was beautiful. I want to do something with that. But you know, wine glasses, you know, or just plain wine. You could come up with all kinds of things. I mean, they would look really neat, all collaged together, tons and tons of wine glasses, or you know, eyeglasses would be fun looking together too. So I'm collecting both of them, and I have them all in my glasses envelope because I probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And I have not come up with very many, so them all fitting in one is working for me at this point. So that's another one. Another category I'm thinking about is geisha. I haven't come up with very many different images for geisha yet. I think I've got 3. So that's a challenge for me. So I just kind of wanted to talk about some of the categories. If you are looking for really challenging categories, you could do a whole lot of, obscure, not obscure, vague, I guess. Once upon a time could be a theme, and you could collect images that you think convey once upon a time, or silence, souvenirs, sounds or smells. You could do all kinds of things with that kind of stuff. Magic, or circus. Can you find clowns and elephants and a ringleader, the horse trainer? What else is at a circus? I mean, your imagination could go wild trying to find things that do with a circus. Another one I was thinking about is instructions. And with Christmas and everything, you've got, I'm not talking about, keeping a whole page of instructions. I'm thinking more on the lines of, like you find on the shampoo bottle, lather, rinse, repeat. That would be hilarious. Or insert slot A into slot B, or screw this onto that. I mean, small little things that you could collect, or even quotes would be fun. Fireworks or leaves, textures. I'm thinking I might want to do as many different textures as I could find, like a little piece of velvet next to a piece of sandpaper. I mean, possibilities are endless, textures. You could do lace. You can do things that are stained. You can do things that are wrinkled, bent, cartoons. And you can do a general, anything that's, cartoons in general, or you can pick your favorite cartoon. Let's go with the Peanuts. How many different Peanuts, how many different Charlie Browns can you find? How many Snoopies can you find? Star Wars is a big one right now. It wouldn't be much of a challenge, but I mean, it might be fun to have a Star Wars page. Wizard of Oz, arrows, keys, bubbles. You could do on and off. How can you convey on and off? And so I'm thinking that I'm not going to give out categories. I'm just going to give some suggestions. And I know I said that I would come back, every month and give you a few, but I don't think that will really work. So I'm trying to come up with as many as I can right now, and I will update my progress next month, probably in February, and see how, if I can come up with different ideas for categories. And I would love to hear your ideas as well. If you would like me to come up with categories for you, I can do that. I just mean for this to be a fun project, and I plan on taking my time with it and probably making it last throughout the entire year. I'm trying to not drive myself crazy to try to finish. I'm not having any fun doing that, and so I am really guilty of wanting to see it finished. I want to see my glue book, and I want to look at it, and I get all in a frenzy, and I get in a panic, and I'm trying to get it all finished, and it doesn't turn out as cool, and I don't have as much fun doing it that way. So I am trying to relax a little bit, have a little bit of fun, and not rush myself, and just have a good time. And I really am glad that other people are kind of doing this along with me. So any suggestions, any ideas, I would love to hear. I would love to see your progress as well. Please go ahead and link to the video, because I would love to see what everybody else is doing, and any suggestions from you. So I'm going to leave you with that for now. So this is the scavenger hunt challenge that I have given myself. I am not imposing any rules on anyone. Please feel free to do your scavenger hunt however you want to do it. And I encourage you to have fun with it. This would be a kind of a fun project for mom to do with the kids. Give the kids, an idea of kinds of things you're looking for, and going through the supermarket, and you're like, oh, Mom, look, there's a fish on that cracker box. Get them involved and have them looking out for things for you as well. It makes it a little bit more fun when somebody else is doing it with you. So I hope this has been helpful, and I hope I've explained a little bit of what's going on here. And I'm glad that you watched. Thanks for watching, and I will get back to you in a month or so. Bye.